Here you go, friends. I got one for you. I didn't realize this was Super Bowl weekend. No, it totally slipped my mind. Just too busy with one thing after another. And I guess Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, right? It's coming up. So cool. Nothing wrong with that. And I realized somewhere I've got a Super Bowl story for you. It's in my archives of these videos I do. The trouble is, it's so far back. I think it's back there about 2 or 3 years. But I thought I'd at least maybe I can wing it. So I'll never find it to read it for you or to post it up closer to present times. But it's a true story, and it was fascinating. And when you're watching the Super Bowl, uh, I guess tomorrow, right? I think it's tomorrow. You'll be this will be something you can tell your friends about, and I swear it's absolutely true. I was living down in North Carolina. I had just gotten over a divorce, and we're talking. Actually, I had just gone through a divorce, is what it was back in the day. My first wife and I parted company, and I was living down in Wilson, North Carolina, near it's a little bit east of Raleigh. I was pretty broke, um, and and pretty blue, feeling pretty crummy, truth be known. And I had a little bungalow that I lived in at that point. Rented a bungalow. I think it was something like $80 a month, but that's all right. That was fine. I didn't. Luckily, the place was furnished because I didn't have any furniture. I basically had a suitcase and some money to get groceries. And now and then my parents would send me some money. And TV was out of the question. There was just no way on God's green apple I could afford a TV. And I think you needed cable down in Wilson too, if I recall right. So for the time being, pretty much I got up in the morning, went to work, came home, and maybe went to a movie, and then came home and pretty much cried myself to sleep. I mean, it was a real low point. Luckily, luckily for me, I joined a rescue squad, and I would suggest if you're ever really down in the dumps, join a fire department, a rescue squad, something to do with the police maybe, and you'll soon realize that you don't have the worst problems on earth. Joining the rescue squad was the best thing I could do because I'm sitting there uh, in my bungalow, feeling sorry for myself, and then the phone rang, and it'd be the dispatcher saying, "Get on up here right now. We got a call." And you hop in, run to the car, put my uniform on as I'm driving down the road, and run into the squad hall. Get in ambulance number 3. They're heading out. Oh, there's trouble. And 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 as a result, we taking care of the trouble made you feel bad for the people, but it also made you realize that maybe you didn't have it so bad, being as you were still breathing, and maybe members of their family or their friends weren't. It's somehow or another trying to help them, and in some cases actually helping them, made you feel really good. But at the same time, you realize that you may have thought you had troubles, but nothing like these poor people that you just took care of. Okay, so it was Super Bowl Sunday. I got called to the dispatch. The dispatch go running through the door. The dispatcher says, like I said, hop in ambulance 2, and off you go. And boy, it's busy. And I said, well, okay. And off we went. Come back, and we got the person to the hospital. It wasn't as bad as it seemed. It was just a fist fight at a Super Bowl party or something. And the fellow says, well, boys, you may as well, South, you better just stay here because I think we're going to be busy. Why don't you go watch? I said, well, I don't even have a TV. If it'd be all right, I'd love to watch the Super Bowl. I'll gladly pull duty for the chance. He says, well, you go ahead. We'll call you if we need you. You get on in there and watch that game. You boys too, the other two guys on the duty crew, they said, well, we want to watch it too. And so we're sitting there watching the game, opening quarter, great game. I forget what game it was, but yeah, I mean, well, what teams were playing, but at least it was fun. I'm watching it. We're cheering and yelling, and I think it was a northern team against a southern team, so I was on the northern side. That it kind of made them a little miffed, and no calls. And usually on a Sunday, geez, you get two or three an hour, and we're what the heck? Go see that dispatcher. They said to me, go see if Mr. Trent's got the phone pulled out of the wall. Why or something's going wrong here? And I go see Mr. Trent, and he says, no calls. He says, I'm watching on my little TV here. It's a good game, huh? I said, yeah. And so he said, you go on back. He says, no, you go up. Don't you boys worry. I'll call you if we get one. Well, nothing. We're into the half. And a squad that normally would get two or three calls an hour, nothing. So what the heck? Well, probably during halftime. Halftime, all these girls dancing around in bikinis and stuff. Nothing. No calls. Get to the final part of the game, the final third and fourth quarters. Nothing. The game was fantastic. I wish I knew which game it was, but it was wild. It was tooth and nail. But nothing, no calls whatsoever. And again, I kept having to go up to Mr. Trent, dispatcher. No, he says, fellas, I'm telling you. I said, come on, let me see the wire. You unplugged the phone, didn't you? He says, nope. He said, I got the plectron on from the police. Nothing from the police. There's nothing going on. I'm telling you. God. Nothing blew up. Nothing. No, he says, nothing. Come on back and watch the game. Enjoy. And we watched, and the game was tooth and nail right up to the last minute. And I don't know, whichever team won. And I said, whoa, man, that was good. Oh, I'm so glad I came here. I feel so much better. And that's when the bell rang. Right up till midnight, there was one call after another. But it all dropped off when the Super Bowl was on. As soon as it ended, off we went. And in fact, I think we had to call in an extra duty crew, if I recall right. I might be wrong, but I think we needed a few ambulances. I guess fistfights breaking out after the game. Maybe someone didn't bring quite enough money to pay what he owed some other guy, and the fur started to fly. But it was I think I eventually got home around 10 that night, and just hit the sack, and before I knew it, instead of crying myself to sleep, I was sound asleep, and that was good. Super Bowl, very therapeutic. If you're in a jam one way or another, just remember you're at least seeing the Super Bowl, and there you go. Okay. Anyway, I thought you might like that one. Again, I got the original version of this somewhere deep in my archives, but one day I'll try to find it and play it for you, because it was pretty good. I'll see you. God bless.